Ladies and gentlemen, first of all, welcome in this house, and actually I'm very glad to have this conference about Burma in this house, because actually it is my former boss and former president of the Czech Republic, Václav Havel, who already 20 years ago started a support movement for Churchy and was interested in Burma. It was due to his initiative that she became the Nobel Prize for Peace. So I think we are the best place to organize such a meeting. And maybe I would like to add one thing. If you become old, as I'm getting now, there's one advantage. You remember several things in your life, and you will see several things. When I was a child, actually, I saw, and I remember quite well, the breakdown of the awful totalitarian system which were in Europe of Mr. Hitler, Mr. Mussolini, and their allies. When I grew up in my student's day, I saw the recession and the disappearance of all colonial regimes in the world. And when I was already over the zenith, suddenly I saw the downbreak of the Soviet Empire, of all the satellite regimes of the Soviet Empire. Now we are watching with astonishment the events in North Africa, in Yemen and other places, where old inveterate dictatorships who seem to be as resistant and as solid as a pyramid in Egypt suddenly are shaken. So I'm quite confident even this regime which we watch in Burma since decades won't be forever. All these regimes one day will go down the river, down to the sea and disappear in the past. Only we have to survive, we have to help those people who are suffering of them. And that's one of the purposes of this conference. I do think we have to focus on two things. One, that after election in Myanmar, again, as I've heard it already in the 20 years, during the last 20 years, quite often, there's a dawn of democracy, the elections are some progress, and so on and so on. I'm a bit skeptical we will see results. I'm very glad that the most prominent prisoner of Burma is now at least in a limited freedom, but that doesn't mean that freedom and democracy rules in Burma. And we have to convince our European friends that it is not the moment now to embrace the regime, but go on with the support of the civil society, the support of all these nationalities, of these citizens of Burma who are not free. Of course we will have contact with regimes too. Each Minister of Foreign Affairs knows in the world that he has to have contact with all the different people, all the different regimes in the world. But it must be very clear what is our aim. Our aim is the freedom of the Burmese people and democracy there. And that's one of the priorities of the Czech foreign policy. We have some assistance we are able to offer, and Burmese know that as this house and the Czech Republic, they will have always a real support. We have been totally following the developments in Burma after the elections, and I know that there were some show improvements, some window dressing, as we know, but the substance hasn't changed, and we are very scared how the development will go on, and we will be consistent in our support of the democratic movement in Burma. We should know that there are still over 2,000 prisoners, political prisoners alone in Burma, Myanmar, and that each day somewhere in the backwards of Burma the army is killing somebody, they're taking prisoners, their women raped, and their villages set alight. And that's not a bearable state, and we have to help, go on with our help for the civil society. Of course, it includes too the National League for Democracy and other parties who didn't take part in the election because correctly they considered it a sham election. And we have, especially in Burma, which is a country which has many nationalities, many ethnic united borders, we have to see from Europe too that their identity has to be saved, and that we have to support the ethnic groups of Burma in their fight to preserve their freedom and their cultural identity. I do know that it will be quite easy to explain to my friends in the European Union to make a decision now. Some people are still not clear, some developments are still going on, but I'm very glad that I came here. I hope the results of this conference here will be valuable results for our considerations, give some impulse to the discussion in Europe, what could be done from Burma, and therefore I thank you very much for coming to Prague, for coming to this house and giving us your advice. And now I would like to ask to the floor my neighbor, the former President Václav Havel, who really was very much on the beginning for the fight for Burmese democracy in Europe. Thank you.